If you're a brand out there, and for our listeners, if you don't do that, you're really leaving money on the table there. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Coffee Break podcast. Today we're tackling a problem almost every Shopify merchant knows too well: discount codes. Most stores are still using simple static codes, and that means leaks, shrinking margins, and no idea which campaign actually drove the sale. In this episode, you'll discover how brands scale promotions the smart way without guesswork and without destroying profitability. Joining me is Cara Marin from Seguno. She helps Shopify brands unlock the full power of personalized promotions and just released a massive benchmark report on 162,000 real discount campaigns. Cara, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cara, you studied 162,000 discount sets. That's quite a lot. What shocked you most about the discount usage?
Well, one thing that didn't surprise me, but that frustrates me, is that we see that larger brands, Shopify Plus brands, are using unique discount codes a whole lot more than smaller brands. Hopefully we'll get to dig into some of the ways that they are using unique discount codes that some other brands can learn from too.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned static codes and there's dynamic codes. Maybe for listeners who have not really dove into the details there, where's the difference?
Yeah. So a static code is like if you're sending a new subscriber welcome discount and it's welcome 10. And so every customer is going to get exactly the same discount code. And the main downside of this is it can leak to coupon sharing sites. And like you mentioned, you don't know exactly where people came from. So attribution gets really wonky. And so the solution to that is unique discount codes, which are single-use discount codes for each customer. So instead of welcome 10, it'll be like welcome BXYX, welcome something different. So each customer gets a different unique discount code. And what that does is it makes it totally leak-proof. It never can get leaked to a coupon sharing site because it's only one-time use. And that locks in really, really solid attribution. So you can actually know what is converting your customers.
Mm-hmm. I want to dive a little bit more into the strategies and tactics to make most of the discount codes. Obviously, it hurts a store to give out too many discount codes all the time. So as a merchant, you probably want to avoid discount codes as much as possible. What are the most common discounts that you see out there from your study?
Yeah. So, one thing I would push back on is where discounts go wrong is when you have these blanket discounts on your site all the time. So you're training your customers to wait for a discount. And I talk to larger brands all the time who feel that they've discounted too much and they're trying to change the brand perception. And by using unique discount codes, you're actually able to discount even more, but it's always like behavior-based and targeted and strategic. So it's not predictable to your customers, and they're not just going to wait for the next discount and kind of think that your brand, they should only buy at a discount. And so unique discount codes are a great way to combat that. But that being said, let's talk about the main use cases. So one of them, so first we see just seasonal promotions. And so this isn't just Black Friday and things like that. It's actually like fall sale, summer sale, for different holidays special to your brand. So that's the most popular use case. After that, we see marketing lifecycle. So that would be the welcome example I gave, win back, post-purchase. And then one that I find really interesting that's also really popular is the affiliate use case. And so brands are more and more working with affiliates and they want to know, is it working? Is it driving sales? And by using unique discount codes, they can actually see what sale is it attributed to which influencer, so they can know where to double down and where not to.
Mm-hmm. I want to unfold these different levels of discounts. You mentioned at the beginning there is stores, and I just saw some store the other day, which basically every product, every collection page on everything was a discount. So basically they were training their customers on getting a discount all the time. Tell me, what's the frustration there? What's the problem there?
Well, when the brand then wants to sell something at full price, customers aren't going to buy, right? They're just going to be waiting for the discount. And that's really frustrating as a brand, unless if that's how you've designed your pricing, but I don't see that very often. And so when you use these targeted, strategic, less flashy discounts, you're able to give discounts that are going to drive a conversion and only the amount needed to drive the conversion without having that perception that you're always discounting. And so it's a way to do targeted discounts that drive sales without making your brand seem cheap.
Mm-hmm. No, totally agree. And you mentioned there is a behavioral structure. So depending on how they behave, what they do on your store. And then there's obviously the campaign driven for the summer sale, for the winter sale, for Black Friday.
Yep.
I want to dive into these behavioral things. And I think there's different layers to it. Obviously you have the one, the abandoned cart one, which probably everyone knows, but there's other levels. Talk me through it.
Yeah. So the most popular one we see is the welcome discount. So this one is so important. This is usually the one I tell people to get started with for unique discount codes, because if you use welcome 10, that blanket discount code, then your customers aren't incentivized to actually give their email or their SMS so that you can contact them and nurture them if they don't buy right away. And so with a unique discount code, you're saying you have to give me some contact info. So now we can correspond and you get this unique discount code to get some amount off. So that's the most popular one. Abandoned cart is really important. And interestingly, we don't see it as commonly as we would expect to, even among big brands. So I think that's something every merchant knows. Abandoned cart, right? Browse abandonment. Those are great opportunities. Somehow in our data, those do not come up nearly as much. So that's a really... Yeah, I see you're like, how is that possible? I agree. People should be doing it more, but somehow they're doing it quite a bit less than expected. The two that we see people doing the most, in addition to the new subscriber offer, is win back. So customers who have lapsed, trying to get them back based on the time frame that's appropriate. So this could be like maybe 90 days later. I see a lot of brands doing this also a year later if it's something people buy more annually. So win back is really important, and post-purchase, because you've just made a purchase. Maybe you want something that will accompany it, right? And so those are the three most popular ones we see in the behavioral.
Yeah, you see really my surprised face about abandoned carts. I mean, that's the closest to the money you can get. And that's the easiest to get them back to go through the checkout. I mean, if you're a brand out there, and for our listeners, if you don't do that, you're really leaving money on the table there. Now, we mentioned welcome 10, welcome 20. In regards to percentage or amount in US dollars, what works better? And do you see a cap there? So what's the sort of the average discount you see? And is there any upper limit?
Yeah. So I don't know if I had shared this with you in advance. Do you have a guess as to what the most popular discount off is? Percentage off?
I would reckon 10%, maybe.
10%. So that's a good guess. The most popular one is 20%. And then actually the second most popular one is 10%, which usually people guess it's going to be 15. So it's interesting. 20 is the most common, and then 10 is the second most common. And usually when I talk to brands, they're really thinking about what's the cost to acquire a customer that they're comfortable with. And that's how they're choosing one of those two.
Okay, that makes sense. In the beginning, you mentioned that bigger brands, probably on Shopify Plus, use discount much more strategic and much more often than smaller brands. How can smaller brands basically catch up on what the bigger ones do? Yeah,
so I think there's a perception that if you discount too much with blanket discounts, you're going to make your brand seem cheap and compromise brand perception. And then there's a perception that using unique discount codes is hard. And it's like, it takes a lot of effort to set that up. And so if you don't have a dedicated person or team, that's really intimidating. But the thing is, for these, if you just select a small number of use cases that are really high value and set it up, it's super easy and it just runs on its own and makes you money. So good ones to do are that new subscriber one. I love the abandoned cart one, although we don't see it nearly as often as we should. And yeah, I would definitely start there as a good way to drive more revenue with targeted discounts.
Mm-hmm. Now, at Seguno, you have developed a discount app that supports all of what we were just talking about. Talk me through it. How does it work? How does it integrate into the shop? And how does the day-to-day maintenance of the system looks like?
Yeah, so it's an app built. It's a Shopify app, so it's fully Shopify native. And how it works is you choose what campaign you want to run. So is it your welcome offer, your abandoned cart offer? You select the different Shopify discount settings that you'd like to have. So is it a % off, amount off, whatever? And then you select how many codes you want to generate. And it will just generate the codes for you. Usually it just takes a few minutes. It's pretty fast. And from there, you can either export to CSV to upload to any marketing channel you like. And we recently added a direct Klaviyo integration. So that makes it a lot easier for doing the welcome offers and those offers that are often over email or SMS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for our listeners, by now you should know Klaviyo is your go-to system when it comes to email marketing. I'm not biased. I'm not related to anywhere to Klaviyo, but it's just the best integration that's out there. Now, you mentioned that also working with influencers is a way to use discount codes. How does that work?
Yep. So usually people use a platform like Mention Me. And so they'll go into the app, generate unique discount codes, export to CSV, and then upload them there. And then as you're working with your influencers, they have those unique discount codes assigned to them. And that's a really common use case. I think it was number 2 in my notes. I was thinking of it as number 3. Number 2 was the affiliate use case. So that's usually how it's done. If you're like experimenting with a very small influencer program, you can consider not using the app and trying to do it manually. But I haven't really seen that so much. It's usually using something like Mention Me.
Okay. Can you share some success stories or case studies of businesses that have implemented your app and what kind of results they saw?
As an example, one of my favorite brands, when they came to us maybe 3 years ago, they were really frustrated because they were in the over discounting perception moment. So they had wanted to move inventory, wanted to grow fast. They were discounting with blanket discounts on the website. And now their customers did not want to buy at full sale. And their products are like, it's like maybe between $100 and $200 is the average order value. And so they really wanted to get that full average order value. And so what they did to rein it in is they came to the app, they moved to almost exclusively unique discount codes instead of those blanket discount codes. And with it, they were also able to experiment. So they were like, does $15 off or 10% off work better? And because you have a targeted offer to each segment, you're able to say, okay, I'm going to try this offer here and this offer here. Let's see in 2 weeks which did better. And then you can keep iterating and find that right amount off to offer in order to get conversions.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Reporting in the system. And you mentioned you need to let it run for a while. You need to have statistical significance. What's your tip to make this work in the best possible way?
The reporting. So not to plug our app, but also Shopify, not just our app. You'll be able to see redemptions, revenue, and average order value in our app. And it also integrates, and other apps that do this would integrate hopefully with Shopify. So you can look in Shopify's native reporting to kind of break things down however you'd like. And the most common ones we see are the revenue redemptions and average order value, AOV. One of the most interesting ones I've also seen merchants care about too is units per transaction, UPT, because they want to know, especially if you're doing buy more, get more off, they want to see how many actual units are getting added to the purchase. So that's a pretty interesting one to watch.
Okay. So now we're also talking about more complicated discounts. So you said buy one, get something free or get something else. And so that's also doable with your app.
Yes. And that in our report, that was also one of the kind of things that just frustrates me to see that smaller merchants aren't using as much is gift with purchase or buy X, get Y. And gift with purchase, especially just we see, I think it's used 6 times more often by larger merchants than smaller merchants. So there's something interesting there. And when I talk to our larger merchants, they tell me that that's often one of the most efficient ways to drive revenue is to yeah, it sounds like you see this too, is offering a gift with purchase, which is actually excess inventory, but has a high perceived value depending on how your brand is structured and stuff. And if your typical cart size is $50, you put it at $59, and then you get there a lot more often. And so gift with purchase is a really great discount to use. I wish more people would use it. I'm glad to see larger brands use it, but smaller brands, let's do it too.
Yeah, I love this concept. I have used this in my own store, and it also makes you feel as a merchant feeling much better than saying I just discount 10, 20%. And as you said, it increases your average order value. So this is a really good strategy for our listeners. Look into this. This also makes you money. Now, Kara, who's your perfect customer? What kind of brands do you work with?
We work with anyone that takes like a strategic approach to growth and wants discounts to be part of it. So we do work with a lot of larger brands, but also brands of any size where you're already personalizing your marketing, you're putting a lot of thought into how to drive growth, and you want discounts to be part of that. We currently have more than 20,000 brands that we work with. So It's a big range.
You already touched a little bit on the onboarding process. How does that look step by step? What kind of steps are involved? How long does it take to get up and running?
Hopefully it's fast. If not, reach out to us. So you just install the app. It's called Bulk Discount Code Bot by Seguno in the App Store. And then once it's installed, you go right into creating your discount and generating your unique discount codes. And then within a few minutes, they'll be ready for use either with that direct integration into Klaviyo or export to upload into any marketing channel you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Most important question, how do you earn money? What's your pricing structure?
We charge a monthly fee to use the platform. And so it varies if you look at our pricing page, but often comes down to smaller brands versus larger brands that want more reporting and controls. And so it'll be either $19 a month or $99 a month. And it's free to start. I should include that. It's free for the first 3 sets. So if you want to just try it out, see how it feels, first 3 are free. And there is a 10-day free trial on either plan as well.
Okay, that's absolutely no-brainer, trying it out, and I'm sure you will make money straight away. Kara, before our coffee break comes to an end today, anything you want to share with our listeners that we haven't covered yet?
Well, one thing that's interesting is based on where in the world your customers are, certain discounts are more popular. And so the most noticeable one there that I thought was pretty interesting is insider discounts, which is for employees, students, teachers, veterans. Those are pretty popular across the board. I think they were number 4 across the board, but in Europe, they were like number 2. So those insider discounts are especially good to take a look at over there.
Okay, that's interesting that there is regional, international differences in discount use. I never thought about this point actually, but kind of interesting that you came to the conclusion that there's something like this. Perfect. Kara, where can people go and find out more about Seguno and the app? So
you can go check out our app in the App Store, Bulk Discount Code Bot, or our website, seguno.com. And if you have any questions for me, I'm always happy to chat at kara@seguno.com. is the best way to get in touch.
Cool. I will put the links in the show notes as always, then you're just one click away. Kara, thanks so much for your time today and giving us an overview about on the right use of discount codes. And so many golden nuggets in there for our listeners. Go try them all out. I'm sure you will make more money. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.